Coach, if you want to start us off with a quick opening statement, we'll open it up to questions.
Yeah, beautiful weather today. We're fortunate we got to stay here. We were planning on going down to the Superdome, but when you run down there and run back, it takes you a little while. So fortunately, the weather was good. Started early this morning because we thought we anticipated going down there to the dome, but the kids are used to getting up early and getting started and getting going. Thought we had a good workout, got everything in. Good solid 2-hour practice, and then it looks like we may have good weather tomorrow and the next day too. So excited about it. Good weather on game day. Anybody got anything?
Sure. Willie, when you look at Southern Miss, the thing that leaps out about them offensively is the numbers that their wide receiver Tim Jones has put up through 2 games. How much of a focal point is he of their offense, and could this be another big role for Jalen Monroe, like he did against South Alabama this week?
Yeah, he's a really good football player. Big kid, runs well, made some contested catches last week. So we definitely got to know where he's at on the field. It's hard to just put one guy on one guy most of the time because they may move him around, or you may be in different type coverages, zone, man, whatever the case may be. But I'm sure there'll be times that Jalen will be taking him.
Yeah. Jalen Monroe's not a big guy. That's hurt him in the past, but he seems to he now he's learned how to compensate for that. What does he do to challenge those bigger receivers?
Well, he's got really quick feet. He's got as quick a feet as any kid I've had. He'd be in the upper echelon of guys with quick feet. He's doing a good job getting hands on when he does press on the line of scrimmage. That really throws the timing off between the receiver and the quarterback. And the thing he's doing a nice job of is playing the deep ball. It's as I've mentioned many times before, one of the hardest things in football is when you've got your back turned to the quarterback. Most of the time that's the defender, and the other guy's got his eyes and his shoulders turned towards the quarterback, and you've got to make a play, either turning back to the quarterback or playing through the hands of the receiver, and he's done a pretty darn good job of that. And you do a good enough job of that enough, you get an opportunity to keep playing. That's a hard skill to master.
One of the statistical oddities, Patrick Johnson wasn't credited with a tackle against Navy. Did he have a rough game, or was the plays just not coming his way, or what happened?
Plays weren't coming his way as much as normal. When you play a under center triple option team, you kind of change what you do for that week, and we had Cam kind of playing that same position on the boundary, and Patrick was more to the field, and Cam had a ton of production, and Patrick just didn't have as much, but it's more based on who we were playing and the scheme we were playing than anything else.
Deuce Watts doesn't have a catch yet after only 2 games, but watching preseason practice, he sometimes looked like the best receiver you had. Is anything he's not doing, or obviously the passing game has had some issues in general?
There's been 2 or 3 times he's had some opportunities, and we've had errant throws to him. So he's going to get some chances. And I also think that both he and his brother are getting caught up with the speed of the game. Even though Jones is one of the top junior colleges in the country, it's a huge difference going from junior college football to Division I football. I know that as well as anybody. I was surprised how big of a vault it was going junior college football to Division II football when I went from Blinn Junior College and went to Central Missouri. So there's a big difference, and I think those guys are catching up every single day.
3 practices into the week, everybody's talking about blessing the performance last week. You feel enthusiasm looks pretty good. You feel pretty good about where this team is mentally?
I think so. We'll find out on Saturday, correct? But as of right now, I think the guys are doing a nice job. We've talked long and hard about it being a marathon and not a sprint, and how you got to be mentally tough. You get into the season, really, mental toughness is more important than physical toughness. And you just can't give in. And we got a bunch of good seniors that are, being more vocal, which I like. Your teams are always easier to coach when it's player-led as opposed to coach-led.
You mentioned yesterday about there were times when the receivers didn't help Keon out. I mean, there were 2 key third down conversions in the second half that were Amari Jones, Tyreek James dropped passes, and then there was another one where it would have been a tough play, but Amari had a chance on the 4th down reception too when it was thrown a little bit behind him. Is that just where those guys need to be better to help Keon out?
Yeah, you certainly want, if you got an opportunity to get 2 hands on the ball, you need to catch it. There's no doubt about that. And doesn't matter how hard the ball was thrown or if it was slightly behind you or whatever. If you can get 2 hands on it, our expectations are that you're going to come down with it. And so it's a little bit of everything. It's protection, it's accuracy, and it's catching the ball. And we had not very many issues with protection. We had one protection glitch, I think, in the game. But there's some inaccurate throws and some balls that needed to be caught. So we got to do a better job of that.
Then one other thing that hadn't been addressed is the safety. First of all, you don't see a punt very often bounce at the 30 and roll to the 1, which is what started that whole sequence. But what happened? It's just, obviously you don't see a guy getting pushed out the back of the end zone very often on a running play. Was it just a combination of missed blocks, bad read? What happened on that play?
Well, number one, we got to get aggressive and go get that ball if at all possible. And it's a tough one. The guy punted it pretty short. I think Amari's back maybe on the 15-yard line. It bounced right around the 30, and you get a true bounce. You want to go ahead and still play it, because that's what can happen. And then on the particular play, we just had a technique error in kicking out the end man. Guy came too deep, pulled too deep, and the defensive end really did a good job of crashing off the tackle and got underneath the block, and there's a wad of what in there. So hindsight's 20/20. We'd love to arrange something different, but it's a play that we've had success with. Matter of fact, I think we scored our first or second touchdown with it. So just not very good execution.
You feel like that might have been as big a play as any in the game because it immediately goes from a 2-score to a 1-score game, and they're getting the ball back.
Yeah, it was tough. It's we worked coming out. We probably worked on that 5, 6, 7 times. Prior to it actually happening to us. And I believe we had one situation pretty close to that against South Alabama. But it's one of the toughest things to work on in football. If you can get 1 first down, you really have done yourself some good. And so yeah, that was a huge play, against us without question.
And then on the free kick was actually a terrific punt on the free kick, and then really that's the first time your coverage broke down a little bit. The guys just lose contain on that side.
Yeah, our contained player, I don't know. He was stuck his nose inside, and if he does what he's supposed to, I think we tackle him on about the 15. But he jumped inside, and we lost leverage. And everybody's, we have different guys that play contain for us, and everybody's counting on him being a sideline and turning the play back in, and he didn't.
Second road game of the year at Southern Miss. How much did you learn from the first one, and how much does it help in this kind of this weird era of coronavirus to have already gotten one under your belt?
Well, I think it's good. We wanted to find close games, and we were able to do that, and with South Alabama and Southern Miss. And I do think it helps you traveling, being in a hotel, those kind of different things. The game got changed. It was originally going to be a night game. And we were going to drive over the day of the game, but they switched it for, I think, TV reasons. And, so now we're going to go over the night before. So, yeah, I think that for most of our guys, they've done it. They've traveled before. They've spent the night in a hotel. It's not that big a deal. But for the guys that were rookies, that was a big deal for them.
Southern Miss has a new coach, obviously, assistant. Do you see any significant changes, or is it tough to change that quickly in the season from their first game to their second?
I think that there's probably, I'm sure there's some things. I did see a few more wrinkles maybe offensively in game 2 as opposed to game 1. But, it's once you get into the heat of the season, it's hard to wholesale change anything. But you got, minor things you can tweak. And I'm sure he's, putting his stamp on things.
Thanks. Appreciate you taking the time.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Gary.